Right now, your finger hovers over a tiny, brightly colored button on a glowing screen. It says, "Buy now." It is an action so mundane, so entirely frictionless, that you don't even think about it. You press the button, the screen flashes a confirmation, and you put your phone back in your pocket. It feels like magic. It feels like the digital world has simply spawned an object out of thin air, promising it will appear on your doorstep in exactly 48 hours. But there is no magic. There is no cloud. The exact millisecond you press that button, you trigger a violent, physical shockwave that ripples across the entire planet. You are engaging the gears of the largest, most complex, and most devastatingly ruthless machine ever constructed by human hands. It is a machine made of millions of miles of asphalt, thousands of towering steel leviathans churning through the ocean, and armies of human beings managed by cold, unblinking algorithms. Today, humanity moves over 130 billion parcels a year. We are approaching a reality where the global logistics network is attempting to move 1 billion packages every single day. And the terrifying truth that no one in the e-commerce industry wants to admit is this: the machine cannot handle it. The physical world is buckling under the weight of our addiction to convenience. The system is fundamentally, irreversibly breaking. To understand why the world is fracturing under this unimaginable volume, you have to look past the shiny delivery vans in your neighborhood and travel to the invisible, industrial choked points where the physical internet actually lives. Let's follow the shockwave of your Buy Now button. Before your item can be delivered, it has to cross an ocean. For decades, the global economy relied on a perfectly balanced, invisible conveyor belt of massive container ships. These ships, some longer than the Empire State Building is tall, were designed to move massive bulk orders, thousands of televisions, millions of pairs of shoes. They moved on a predictable, seasonal schedule, ferrying goods from the manufacturing hubs of Asia to the ports of Europe and North America. But the Buy Now button destroyed that predictability. E-commerce created a culture of infinite, immediate demand. We don't wait for seasons anymore. We want obscure, highly specific items delivered instantly, year-round. This has caused an unprecedented traffic jam on the high seas. The ports of Los Angeles, Long Beach, Rotterdam, and Shanghai were never designed to process this frantic, erratic volume. Ships carrying hundreds of millions of dollars in inventory are forced to drop anchor miles off the coast, idling their massive diesel engines for weeks, waiting for a single slot to open up at the docks. This bottleneck isn't just an inconvenience. It is a creeping paralysis. When ships cannot unload, the containers don't go back to Asia. A global shortage of empty metal boxes ensues, driving the cost of shipping up by hundreds of %, a hidden tax baked into everything you buy. But the ocean is only the first breaking point. Once your item is violently yanked off that ship by a towering robotic crane, it enters the darkest, most dystopian environment of the modern supply chain, the fulfillment center. We used to have warehouses. They were quiet, dusty places where inventory sat on pallets for months. The fulfillment center is something entirely different. It is a hyper-accelerated algorithmic panopticon. If you drive through the inland empire of Southern California or the industrial outskirts of Frankfurt, you will see them. Windowless gray monoliths so unimaginably massive that the Earth's curvature literally factors into their architectural design. We are paving over thousands of acres of arable farmland and vital wetlands every single month, pouring millions of tons of concrete just to create temporary holding pens for cheap plastic goods. Inside these megastructures, the environment is intensely hostile to human biology. The heat is stifling. The noise of miles of conveyor belts is deafening. But the true horror is the algorithm. In a traditional job, your boss is a human being. In a modern fulfillment center, your boss is a piece of software, communicating to you through a scanner gun strapped to your wrist. When you pressed Buy Now, that software immediately located your item in a building the size of 20 football fields. It then beamed a set of coordinates to a human worker. the scanner gun starts a countdown timer. The worker has precisely 9 seconds to walk down a designated aisle, locate the exact bin, scan the barcode, and place the item on a belt. 9 seconds. If they take 11 seconds, the scanner registers time off task. If they stop to stretch their back, time off task. If they take too long walking to the bathroom, which could be a quarter of a mile away, time off task. The software tracks their movements down to the millisecond. It measures their pick rate. It compares their physical output against a theoretical, machine-perfect ideal. Human beings are being forced to work at the mechanical, unyielding pace of a robot, resulting in staggering rates of physical injury, exhaustion, and psychological burnout. The turnover rate in these facilities is so catastrophically high that internal corporate memos have warned that within a few years, they will literally run out of employable human beings in certain metropolitan areas. We are cannibalizing the physical and mental health of the working class just to ensure a cheap phone case arrives on a Tuesday instead of a Thursday. And what happens after the item is picked? It needs to be packaged. This brings us to the most invisible, desperate shortage on the planet. The cardboard crisis. You don't think about cardboard. You tear it open and throw it in the recycling bin. But corrugated fiberboard is the absolute lifeblood of the global economy. Every single one of those 130 billion packages requires a box. To meet this apocalyptic demand, the packaging industry is devouring forests at an unsustainable rate. But even logging isn't enough. The system relies entirely on recycling old boxes to make new ones. However, the e-commerce model has broken the recycling loop. In the old retail model, a supermarket would receive a massive pallet of goods wrapped in cardboard. They would immediately crush that cardboard in a backroom baler and sell it directly back to the paper mills in perfect, clean, multi-ton cubes. It was highly efficient. Now, those boxes are being shipped to millions of individual front porches. They get left out in the rain. They get mixed with food waste. They get thrown in the regular trash. The cardboard is contaminated, degraded, and lost. The paper mills are starving for clean fiber, causing the price of pulp to skyrocket. We are literally running out of the very material required to ship the things we are buying. But let's assume your item makes it into a box. Now, it enters the last mile. The last mile is the most chaotic, expensive, and polluting segment of the entire machine. It is the journey from the local sorting facility to your actual front porch. To guarantee 2-day or same-day delivery, logistics companies have deployed massive, decentralized armies of delivery vans. These fleets are choking suburban streets and urban centers. They idle outside apartment buildings, spewing thousands of tons of carbon dioxide and particulate matter into residential neighborhoods. Because the algorithm demands speed above all else, these routes are perfectly optimized by AI to minimize left turns and eliminate any wasted seconds. The drivers, much like the warehouse workers, are monitored by inward-facing cameras and biometric sensors. If they brake too hard, if they look away from the road for 2 seconds, the AI flags them. They are forced into a frantic, high-stakes race against an invisible clock, darting through traffic to throw a cardboard box onto a concrete porch. But all of this, the global shipping crisis, the dystopian warehouses, the cardboard shortage, the suffocating last-mile pollution, all of this pales in comparison to the darkest, most heavily guarded secret of the e-commerce empire. What happens when you decide you don't want the item? What happens when you click return? We have been conditioned to believe that returns are a harmless, frictionless feature of modern shopping. You put the item back in the box, print a free label, and drop it off. You assume it goes back to the warehouse, gets placed nicely back on the shelf, and is sold to the next person. This is the biggest lie in the entire retail industry. Reverse logistics, the process of moving an item backward through the supply chain, is a total nightmare. When a facility receives your returned item, it cannot just put it back. A human worker has to open the box, inspect the item for damage, test it if it's electronic, repackage it, print a new barcode, and re-enter it into the inventory database. This process requires time, space, and human labor. And in the hyper-optimized, razor-thin margin world of e-commerce, time and labor are the two most expensive things in existence. Here is the brutal, mathematical reality. For the vast majority of items priced under $30, it costs the company more money to process the return than the item is actually worth. So, what do they do with it? They destroy it every single day. Millions of perfectly good, brand new items, clothing, electronics, toys, appliances are quietly loaded onto unmarked trucks and sent to massive industrial shredders or toxic incinerators. If they aren't burned, they are sold for pennies on the dollar to liquidation liquidators, who often end up shipping the massive, unsellable pallets to developing nations. The Atacama Desert in Chile has become a sprawling, toxic graveyard for fast fashion. Mountains of unsold, returned clothing, perfectly preserved in the arid environment, stretch as far as the eye can see. Coastal cities in West Africa are drowning in electronic waste and cheap plastic junk that the West decided to return because it was the wrong color or didn't fit right. We are pulling precious resources out of the earth, burning fossil fuels to ship them across the ocean, exploiting human labor to sort and package them, and poisoning our neighborhoods to deliver them, only to immediately throw them into an incinerator because it is mathematically cheaper than putting them back on a shelf. This is the true cost of the Buy Now button. It is an economic model built on the illusion of infinity, infinite resources, infinite space, infinite human endurance. But the physical world is finite. The ports are full, the roads are choked, the warehouses are running out of bodies to exploit. The environment is buckling under a relentless tsunami of cardboard, diesel fumes, and shredded plastic. Moving 1 billion packages a day is not a triumph of human engineering. It is an act of global self-sabotage. We have optimized a supply chain so thoroughly, so ruthlessly, that it is currently consuming the very planet it operates on. The machine is accelerating. The algorithm is demanding more, and the next time you press that brightly colored button, remember, the convenience you feel is entirely synthetic. You aren't just ordering a product. You are demanding a piece of the world. And the world is running out of pieces to give.
Thanks for watching Macro Explainer. Subscribe for more clear breakdowns.